We've published a number of studies globally. And the first one will be urbanization, an increase in spending power, a young population, shifting demographics, and mobile first. So I'd also like to take that into what does that mean in the Philippines. So we did a study outward to 2025, and we broke down the different cities into mega cities, mixed density cities, mid-density cities, large towns, rural towns and villages, based on the number of the population. Now, for the Philippines, and we did this for ASEAN, in the Philippines, Metro Manila would be our mega city. And whenever people want to come enter the market, suppliers of supermarkets, they immediately think Metro Manila has the biggest market, but it's very competitive. And if we project it out based on the different industries that are going to grow, we believe that the growth will happen in the next tier cities. And some of our retailers here know that they're opening aggressively in second or third tier cities. Okay? So that's also true. So here are, if you want to look at which those cities are, right? Or outside of the Philippines. And for the government to have build, there are a lot of infrastructure projects not only in Luzon, but also in Visayas and Mindanao. Airports, roads, bridges, trains. So that's going to bring employment and growth outside of Metro Manila. So I also talked about the growing middle class. In the Philippines, we do have what we call business process outsourcing. Later I'll talk about that. But we do surveys, and this year, it's so hard to ask what's your salary, what's your income in the household. That's usually how research people know whether you're A, B, C, D, or E. But we use a simpler metric. Based on what you're earning, are you able to spend freely? Are you able to live more comfortably? Do you have only enough money for food and shelter? Or you're really hard up? So what we've seen year on year is their perception that they're able to spend more freely has gone up. Right? So it means there's more discretionary spend available. So in the Philippines, we're looking at a very young population. We have the demographic sweet spot. 2/3 of our population are below 36. So they're millennials and Generation Z. Our median age in the Philippines is 24. Singapore is 40. Right? I'm a Singaporean, so we're near the median age. At 24. So but in the Philippines it's 24. Right? So for the next, that's called the demographic dividend. Right? So that's a breakdown for the Philippines. Also, people are marrying later. Our birth rate is going down. So therefore, earlier, globally, we're also seeing smaller household sizes. We are also seeing smaller household sizes. So what does that mean? So for supermarket owners, big packs, small packs, more frequent shoppers, people single living alone in your condominium, you have to buy less, you may be eating out more. So, and people are living longer. So health and wellness, food for people who are more than older than millennials. You also need to think about healthy food. So there are a lot of implications. Now, Filipinos, earlier there was a comment that Filipinos use the internet the longest. That is true. I have a different opinion. I have a reason. I think he didn't say why, but I always say when I present, I think I know why. But our internet penetration has been going up, 73% urban, and and the time spent online daily, right? We now watch the TV, but we also use the internet a lot, and so you need to know what time of day. But the length of time of internet may also be due to the speed of our internet. The guys are laughing at sponsors. Okay. So as a result, because of these 5 mega trends, consumers will have different choices. So we work with the brands and the suppliers, and we say people are trying out newer brands, but because their lifestyles are changing. I didn't mention that people are accessing internet for the first time, and the first time through their mobile phones. Right? So if we have 98% Facebook users, we're one of the top countries globally. Right? So I talked to Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. The Philippines is a top market for them. So as a result, you need to understand how the consumers their sentiments are. So we then have another 5 consumer trends happening in the Philippines. So how did we arrive at that? We do focus groups for a lot of our clients. And I asked them, okay, for all of that 2017, you did several hundreds of focus groups in our office. Can you please distill it into 5 things that consumers are talking about? And the first one is convenience. Okay. We'll go to each one. So the convenience lifestyle. In fact, I could talk half a day about convenience, but I only have less than an hour. So people are looking for ease. Okay. They want to do things easily. You also hear that with a different speaker. Right? How would you make it easier? Tobias talked about how do I make this picking it up in the store is going to make their lives easier. So a lot of that, and we're working very long hours. Our consumers are demanding convenience. Okay. So what you've seen on the data is usually households would go and buy big shopping 2 to 3 times a month. But the number of trips are now increasing, and the basket size, the ticket items are getting smaller. So if you look at your analytics in your basket and your cash registers, that's going to affect your lines are going to get longer because they keep on going to the stores. So you need to be able to make it more convenient. There's a lot of online is coming up, but the one thing that's happening is small store format. If you look at all the major retail chains, even the regional supermarket chains, the format that they're opening are the smaller ones. There's also implication on logistics because your trucks are big and your streets are small, or your delivery areas in the warehouse. So logistics is going to be a challenge. And I was also again mentioned in a talk this morning about the challenge of logistics, right? And how fast you can bring the stocks in. So top-up shopping is in the middle of the week. If I run out, I go. But the one thing with smaller households is more people are cooking out, right? And they're also wanting to buy more fresh food. So therefore, that also affects our loyalty. The stocking up is low because the stores are getting smaller near your neighborhood. They're going less to large stores. Okay? And if they're eating out, some of the food and some of the food ingredients could also be affected. So we do see this. The top here is the government data. 1 bar here is 1 year. These are all how much they spend on grocery. It's slowly going down over the years. But if you look at restaurants and hotels, it's been going up. Right? So this is government data. And we also did a study about eating out in Metro Manila, saying actually almost 98% eat out in a month. Right? So this could be as simple as eating in your neighborhood eatery, a carinderia, or casual dining, or even fine dining, or quick service restaurants, or a convenience store, which is competing with your traditional quick serve restaurants. We were looking before, in 2012, only 1 out of 10 went to convenience stores. Fast forward now in 2018, almost 6 out of 10 go to a convenience store. It's a combination of both. The number of convenience stores have increased, but also the convenience lifestyle. So Some people even eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, coffee, all in the Philippines, right? The people who work in the office. So overall, as a supermarket, you want to think about having ready to eat. So that's also important. It may give you even higher margins, right? So if you notice, it's not just the stalls outside, but you may also start offering that to compete with other quick service. Because if I'm a busy housewife, I would go and do some groceries after work, but then I don't have time to cook. I'll just go and buy something up. So the future is here, technology is here. Of course, what I usually have a video here, but with respect to Jackie, who will talk more detail about Bingo Box, I'll let him elaborate. But 2 years ago, I was showing Amazon Go, and this year I've been showing Bingo Box to my clients. So what I'm trying to say is, the point is, innovation is coming from everywhere, and we also look at US for innovation. But in reality, we should also be looking at innovation from Asia, right? That can compete, or at the same level as those that are in emerging markets can compete with the rest of the world. So rewarding self big time. So more and more people are earning more money in the Philippines. So we have more than 1 million BPO workers in the Philippines. It's a sunrise industry. I still believe a lot of them are still located into the Philippines. The average wage of BPO workers is above minimum wage. Okay, with bonuses, it could reach up to 30,000. Okay, and that is much higher than the minimum wage in Metro Manila. So what will they do with that money, right? So because people live stressful lives, they're looking for comfort, reward, and other distressing activities. Okay? So one way on the consumer products, we've been talking since 2013, 2014 about premiumization. Okay, so I have to be careful. Good thing, my friend there, Mike Fedoro, earlier when I was presenting somewhere else, I looked at some guy who chose to have a shaved head. And I gave the hair shampoo example. If you had more money, Steve, would you buy more shampoo or would you buy better shampoo? Right. So that's what we mean by premiumization. Right? But the last time I was looking at a guy who chose to have a shaved hairstyle. So yeah, I put him on the spot. But if you look at it, if you want to find growth, and the middle class is growing, our message is you want to look for premium. Okay, and we have different kinds of premium. This is 3 times the price. But actually, even if 20% higher, that's what we call affordable premium. Right? So entry level premium. So if you look at shampoo, and most of these guys are my clients, right? So you have Colgate-Palmolive. So you look at the average category price. Then they'll have their different positioning. So that may be the Vaseline, the Colgate, and then the Colgate-Palmolive. Then you'll have maybe Dove would be slightly higher, Head and Shoulders would be slightly higher. Then Tresemme or Salon Care, right? So depending on your market, you want to look at the cross-section of that. Because again, as consumers become more affluent, they're looking for different kinds of shampoo. Okay? More premium. They won't buy more shampoo. So and that will give you more growth. If your category grows and you earn as a percent of the category, you'll have more profit as a supermarket. So self-reward can also manifest in many ways. So they're looking for gadgets, being fashion trend, going into health and fitness, and also the spa. So it may also put pressure on, maybe I won't spend it on groceries, I'll spend it on recreation and experiences. So many people are traveling for the first time. So if we were to, there are some manufacturers that do some programs. Let's just take this example of putting in travel and product consumption. So making up for lost time is the third one. And globally, 40% of women are in the workforce. But if you localize that to the Philippines, almost 50%, 49% are part of the workforce. So that means they have less time with the family. And I recently, in my company, we have some yaya problems. So for those who are not familiar with what yaya is, that's nanny. Right? So you know when the economy is doing well, it's so hard to get nannies. Okay, I see heads nodding in the room. So that puts a lot of pressure on the super women, the women who work and also take care of their children at home. So there's a lot of women overseas foreign workers as well. So what that means is they want to spend more time with the family. Every weekend there's going to be lunch. Every weekend we want to go somewhere together. That's because of the guilt, right? So that the consumer sentiment that I want to have more time with the family. Now as retailers, what would you do, right? How do you make it easier for them? So online or pick up, you need to make your aisle design or store layout more streamlined, or what they call and pick up, right? But certainly, there are little things that time is a luxury, and therefore, let's give this example of a non-food retailer just using marketing and convenience to drive its branding.
South Korea, a country devoid of oil. Seoul, a city where 1/4 of Koreans live, with one of the world's highest gasoline consumption. The situation is getting worse. Car usage is increasing. Petroleum costs are rising. Parking spaces are scarce. People are stressed out. Every day, a Seoul driver wanders 500 meters to find a parking space. In a month, this equals 15 kilometers or 1 liter of gas. S-Oil, one of the 4 oil companies in Korea, took action. It is on a mission to save oil. Right here, right now. Thus begins the HERE campaign. It has set up a HERE balloon for each parking space. As a car parks in it, the balloon falls. When the car exits, the balloon rises. Cars can spot these balloons from afar. They can spot open parking spaces without wandering. Finding quick parking means saving oil. One easily spotted parking spot is worth 1 liter of oil saved.
땅이 생각했으니까 참 좋은 아이디어 같아요.
시장에서 한번 다니까
무서웠었습니다.
HERE balloons have saved drivers' gas expenses through a new and interesting method. S-Oil, the oil seller, gained the impression of an oil-saving company. Save oil. Save time. Save money. HERE, taking action for a better world. Save oil. Save Earth. S-Oil.
Okay, and because the younger generation are not used to the same brands that we are, or the older, our parents are used to, we're seeing more and more people becoming more open to new things. So in our study, we always ask this question as well. Are you looking to try new things, or are you starting to want to try new things? Filipinos tend to be very brand loyal. But again, if you look at this on a longer time period, we're starting to see more openness to try new things. So, of course, new retail ideas and concepts are thriving. Food parks are there. People are looking for unique travel experience, games, gadgets. So for travel, we think Japan and Korea was novel, but now I think if I look at the Facebook pages of my friends or Instagram pages, they're saying it's now Iceland, right? So they're going to Game of Thrones inspired vacation. So before it was Japan, Korea, we thought that was pretty cool. So there are some other you need to give them an experience. People want to experience. So how do they're looking for a pleasant store experience. But in other ways, brands are making an impact through Google. We have here a department store example using Pinterest, so social media as well. Or even Pepsi Cola or Mountain Dew let the consumers choose between two flavors, and ultimately which ones would stay longer or which ones they would have give the shelf to. Okay, so giving the consumer a different brand experience. So let's play it again.
Snickers launched an advertising campaign in Australia in partnership with 7-Eleven that changes the price of the candy bar based on the mood of the internet. And when aggregate goes up, Snickers prices go down. Australia, get angry. Let's get those things down to 20 cents.
Introducing the Hunger Rhythm, a hunger algorithm that links price to people's real-time moods. As anger went up, prices went down at every 7-Eleven in Australia. Built on a 3,000-word lexicon from MIT, the Hunger Rhythm analyzed over 14,000 social posts a day to determine sentiment. It even understood sarcasm and slang, and not just any slang, Aussie slang. Prices updated 144 times a day, and users simply clicked Get a Snickers on the Hunger Rhythm mobile site to get a 7-Eleven bar. No downloading apps or printing required. That would just make them angry. Each new price had a backstory, whether it was a politician saying something utterly stupid, people losing their minds over a show, or a country breaking up with the entire EU. As prices dropped, fans were alerted via reactive social content.
There has been considerable fluctuation in
Live in-store displays, and more. The Hunger Rhythm turned the price of a candy bar into something people actually wanted to follow. Even Reddit liked it, and they hated it. By changing its price over 5,000 times in 5 weeks, one of Australia's largest chocolate brands created a massive social media and PR spike. For one stat brand released, a 67% sales increase. And for the first time, You're Not Eating When Hungry was linked to real-world media and real-world sales. Snickers Hunger. The angrier the unit, the cheaper the Snickers.
That also drove store traffic for 7-Eleven in this example. Okay, so the fifth one is leveling up image and recognition. That's the social media world. Unfortunately, you always want to show, hey, I'm here in NRC, right? Or by showing what the brands you buy are, the places that you're at. In reality, you want to show that you have arrived. That's what we're getting from the consumer center. And therefore, if you have a brand, you want to then do some activation. So the choice of social media, celebrity or celebrity endorser, Starbucks also getting your design recognized and printed. These are things that would help recognize the consumer and engage the consumer. Okay, so let's play this.
I've had a very difficult relationship with the scale my whole life.
You can't get on a scale and not think something about what number it says. That number is going to make you happy, that number is going to make you sad. You're going to feel something.
part of this wall. If these are important enough to be put on the wall in Grand Central Station, it makes me feel like I'm a part of the movement. This is the beginning of changing how people live. It's how you weigh you.
Okay. So if you look at fitness overall, if you look at convenience and the four other sentiments, some of them are close to each other. We do think, how can you be more interested in your shoppers, what they really care about, right? And rather than trying to make them conform to you, I think that's really the message. You have to match what their sentiments are, and then adopt it. But the number one thing there is really convenience, and there's feeling they're out of time. They want self-reward. Right? So we need. There are three things I would be with you. As I mentioned, connect to what resonates with our shoppers. As an aspirational self-reward, you need quality, convenience. Convenience is the bare minimum. Definitely embrace digital. There's another track on digital. There's a lot of digital providers here. We have another talk on digital, a few talks later. But for you, if you're running a supermarket, you need to be present online, but you also needed to scale and operationalize your process. A lot of the local retailers don't really think of IT initially. But if you want to scale, if you want to analyze and have more profits, you really need to embrace digital. And we want to be the experiential brand, so people are looking for the experience. Okay? It's not just the product, but it's the experience. It's a service. It's more, you have to, in supermarket, you're in the service industry. Okay? So with that, that ends my presentation. You're welcome to ask one or two questions.
Be thankful. This AC Nielsen charges $500,000 for this study. We're getting it not for free. You paid for this, but for a such a drop in the bucket. Questions? Questions on the floor, please. This is your chance to ask the man. He's here. Overlook.
So it's intentionally very different. It's very consumer centric, right? And what you would expect. I didn't show too much numbers. Let's talk about macro, what's happening.
No questions? I think it's understood. The experiential side of things. A big hand. Any member of the board of a PRA here? If not, I'll be awarding plaque and